Hello everyone, today's book is called Zen Ghosts, and it's by John J. Muth. Looks like on our cover we have a panda and some kids in Halloween costumes. Interesting combination. I'm very curious about this book. Sometimes a good book cover can make you really want to read the book. Michael, there's a ghost outside, said Carl. Oh, what? Asked Michael. A big, scary-looking ghost, said Carl. Is it Stillwater? Asked Michael. It doesn't have Stillwater's face, said Carl. Oh, wait. Yes, it does. Come on in, Stillwater. So this must be someone they're familiar with, someone named, like a panda named Stillwater. Maybe like a guide. Hi, Stillwater, said Addie. Happy almost Halloween. We're working on our costumes. I'm going to be a moon princess. What are you going to be? I'm a ghost, said Stillwater. What are you going to be? He asked Carl and Michael. I'm going to be a monster, said Carl, with a powerful heat ray and atomic breath. I will cause awesome destruction. I haven't decided what I'm going to be yet, said Michael. Either an owl or a pirate. I really like owls and I really like pirates. Yes, sometimes it can be hard to decide what you want to be, but I guess Stillwater is already a ghost, doesn't need to dress up for Halloween. Have you picked your costume yet? I haven't decided mine. Sometimes it can be tricky to pick one. Perhaps you'll be an owl pirate, said Stillwater. He can't be an owl pirate, said Carl. There's no such thing as an owl pirate. He has to be one thing. He can be whatever he wants, said Addie. Look, Stillwater, do you like my costume? What do you think? Can you be whatever you want to be, or do you have to be just one thing? Yes, said Stillwater. It reminds me of something. This is a very special Halloween. There's going to be a full moon, and I know someone who will tell you a ghost story. Yay, said Addie. I love ghost stories, said Michael. It's not too scary, is it, said Carl. After trick-or-treating, meet me by the big stone wall, and I will take you to the storyteller, said Stillwater. Ooh, a full moon on a Halloween. That is special. I wonder who the storyteller is going to be. Ooh, this is a cool page. No words, but there's a picture of everyone trick-or-treating. I love all the costumes. When the children were done trick-or-treating, they waited by the stone wall. I'll trade you 3 tiny mints for 1 snookers, said Addie. No, said Carl, I'm not giving up my snookers. But you don't even like them, said Addie. Come on. Oh, it looks like he just did decide to be an owl pirate. He's got owl wings and a pirate outfit. Awesome. Good for him. I'm glad. It was creative. I only like tiny mints, and they're the crunch peppermint kind, said Carl. Besides, I'm saving my Snickers. I have the one flavor, and bam! Boo, said Stillwater. Wow, you scared me, said Carl. How long have you been there? Follow me, said Stillwater. Ooh, spooky. I've never gone this way before, said Michael. Me either, said Carl. I think I have, said Addie. Look at their cool costumes following Stillwater, the panda ghost. I wonder where they're going. In a few moments, they arrived at Stillwater's house. It's very misty, said Addie. Come on in, said Stillwater. They all sat facing the front of the room. Then a panda who looked exactly like Stillwater sat down. Is that Stillwater? Whispered Carl. Yes. No. I don't know. Shh, whispered Michael. So they don't even know who this storyteller is. Well, it looks like Stillwater is sitting with them, so it must not be Stillwater. The panda held a brush and said, I am going to draw you a story. Once, a long, long time ago, there was a young girl named Senjo. Her parents loved her very much, and they took very good care of her. I like that idea of drawing a story. I think that's a cool thing. When maybe you're not so great at writing your words yet, you can draw your stories. Or even if you are great, you can still tell a story through pictures. She had a best friend named Ochu, whom she had known for as long as she could remember. They were together so much that Shenjo's father would say, you two are so well matched, you will probably end up marrying each other. As they grew up, they believed this would happen, and they fell in love. Wow, childhood best friends, and they fell in love. But when Senjo reached marrying age, her father suddenly became ill and couldn't work. He came to her one evening and told her that she was to wed a nice man named Henryo. Henryo was prosperous and could take care of the family. Now Senjo was very sad. She had always hoped that she could marry her best friend Ocho. Oh, she can't marry the person she truly loves. That is sad. When Ocho heard about this, he decided to leave that very night. He couldn't stand to be in the same village where his beloved Senjo would be married to someone else. At midnight, with the full moon, he secretly went to the river's edge, packed his boat, and left. He didn't tell anyone, not even Senjo. As he traveled up the river, he saw a vague figure running along the bank. His heart leapt when he saw that it was Senjo, and hurried to her side. They hugged each other tightly and decided to go off together. Senjo and Ocho journeyed to a faraway village where they married and had 2 children. They were very happy. Then one day, Senjo came to Ocho in tears. She longed to be with her parents, to see her home again. Ocho felt the same way. They decided to return and face the consequences. So they kind of ran away so that they could marry one another, but then they missed their family and home. They decided to go back. When they arrived at the dock, Ocho said, let me go first to see your father. I will apologize and find out how things are before you come. Senjo's father was very happy to see him. Ocho told them that they were sorry for what they had done, that he and Senjo were now a family with 2 children. Senjo's father was astonished. What are you talking about? He asked. From the time you left the village, Senjo has been very sick in bed. She's unable to speak. Now Ocho was surprised, but I promise you, Senjo is well, and you are our grandfather. I will bring her to you. As Ocho went to the dock, Senjo's father rushed to his daughter's bedside and told her what Ocho had said. As he heard the story, she was filled with joy. Without saying a word, she rose from her bed and quickly went down the stairs. So it seems almost like there's 2 different Senjos. The one that lived with Ocho and had children, and then the one that's been stuck in bed for years. What a mystery. At that very moment, the Senjo who had come ashore arrived at the house with Ocho. The 2 Senjos, seeing each other, merged and became one. The storyteller paused. Then he asked, which Senjo is the true one? Are they one or are they 2? So which one is the real Senjo? Maybe they're not even 2 different people. Maybe it's one person. What an interesting question. Addie, Michael, and Carl looked at one another. They turned and looked beside them. Only a mask was sitting on the cushion. They looked at Stillwater sitting in the front of the room. He was reaching to a big bag of Halloween candy. I got a bunch of Whizzles and Tiny Mints. Does anyone have some bamboo-flavored Snookers? Bamboo-flavored Snookers. I've never heard of that candy before, so I wonder how they felt about that story, what their thoughts are. I've been saving one for you, said Carl. Thank you, said Stillwater. Thank you, said Carl. That was a good story. Looks like they're just kind of enjoying the Halloween night now. Here's an author's note saying that this story, called Senjo and Her Soul Are Separated, is a really, truly old story. It came from a Chinese Buddhist monk in somewhere between 1183 and 1260, which is a really long time ago. And the author said, there's different variations of this, but it's kind of the question being posed, which there is no real answer to, is who are we? Are we just one thing, or are we many things? So Senjo is both a wife and a mother, but she's also a daughter. And in this story, she kind of physically exists as two, but in the real world, we are often many different things. You might be one person when you're a friend, to when you're with your friends, one person when you're in school, one person when you're at home with your parents, one person when you're just with your siblings. We have different versions of ourselves, don't we? And so the author is kind of talking about, does that make us different people when we have different personalities, different selves? Or are we one person who has different sort of branches? And I thought that was an interesting question, and a kind of a neat tie-in between Halloween and a really old Buddhist story. I thought that author was a really creative person for combining those two things and creating a way that we can hear a traditional story of old. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a wonderful day. See you soon.